What if I told you that you could download Google Earth or Google Earth Pro for your phone or whatever device you're using, and you could simply zoom in on certain locations on Earth, and just by looking at them, you could confirm everything the Bible has said in Revelation. And for those of you out there who aren't Bible believers, you could just open a history book and it would all line up perfectly, starting all the way back before Christ was even born, the historical record and the Bible and everything that's happened since, right up into now, would all line up, and all you would have to do is zoom in and look at a few locations on Google Earth. Would you be interested in that information? Would be something that perhaps you would want to share with your friends? You see, there's been a word that has been mistranslated in the Bible and misunderstood, and when you actually translate the word correctly, it makes everything line up. This has all just been a misunderstanding and a mistranslation. What's that word? Seal. It does not mean what people think it means. I'm sure a lot of folks out there, you mean like the 7 seals of Revelation? Absolutely. They're actually spoken of in Matthew way back in the early part of the New Testament as well, and other places if you know where to look. But when you translate the word correctly, it all makes sense. Everything just falls into line. And it doesn't, like I said, you may believe the Bible, you may not. But when you look at the flow of history, absent any biblical influence, it still makes sense. All of it for what we're going through right now. And we just released that video over at the Patreon channel. And it's for everybody at every level. These types of things, the folks here at YouTube absolutely do not want you to know. They don't want you looking into things like this with critical eyes. They just want you being just sheep, believing what you're told and paying attention to what they say is important. Will you like to join us over there? It's fully refundable, first 90 days. That's the best part about Patreon. If you go over there, you sign up, you look at the content, maybe you think about it for a few days, you look at some more content, even if you decide, let's say 3 weeks from now, it's not for you, and you say, you know what, I'm going to cancel that, and you're like, oh, you forget about it, and then 2 weeks later, you're like, oh man, I better go cancel that. You're still fine. 5 weeks out, you've got 90 days. 90 days to go over there and kick the tires and look at all of the different content. Fully refundable. God bless all of you who are over there. Thank you so much. I very, very much appreciate it. Trust me, this most recent video is something you're definitely going to want to look at. Now, how many of you remember Ronald Reagan? We must reject the idea that every time a law is broken, somebody does something wrong, society is guilty rather than the lawbreaker. It is time to restore the American precept that each individual is accountable for his actions. I would like to lead with that in a context that might bother some people. You see, there's a lot of folks out there that want to blame all of America's drug problems on China and Mexico and cartels. We had China and Mexico and cartels when I was 17, 18, 19 years old, and we had a president that said, well, you know what? If you're just taking random things you're buying off the street and putting them in your body, that's not really the drug dealer's fault. That's your fault. Hence the whole just say no. Just say no was the basis of Reagan's war on drugs. And it worked magnificently. A lot of us did. Hey, you know what? That's right. It is my fault if I go down the street and some random yokel offers me this thing or that thing and I put it in my body and I end up turning into a zombie. That's my fault. But there's also some new information out as well. And we talk about this at the Patreon channel. Remember when it was a matter of national security that we couldn't see anything that was in the Epstein files? Well, guess what? What if I told you all of these hundreds and hundreds of alleged victims, giant air quote? What if I told you every single one of them had something in common other than the fact that they aren't children and aren't victims? Once again, Patreon. But wait, there's more. You ready for this? Well, let's see. We'll skip that. Cruel way people are getting hooked on a brand new drug. No, this isn't fentanyl. This is xylazine. See, there's people out there now because, first it was, we couldn't have prescription opioids anymore, so they got rid of those because those were being abused. And then, of course, whenever there's a vacuum, nature abhorring a vacuum, people found the fentanyl. Well, now they're getting rid of the fentanyl, so now guess what they're doing? They're using tranks. Zombie drug, menace, taking over U.S. And you get it from the veterinarian. So I ask again, whenever you take something like this away, or you say, it's the dealer's fault, or, they're going to find something else if you keep making excuses for people. How many of you know who David Goggins is? He said once, it's so easy to be great nowadays because everyone else is so weak. I'll be honest, the first time I read that, I'm like, ooh, that's a bit narcissistic. That's a bit self-involved. He also said it's a lot more than mind over matter. It takes relentless self-discipline to schedule suffering into your day every day. And I thought, okay, that's, that might be taking things to the edge, that you want to look the way you want to look, or, have the physical ability that you want to do to create a level of suffering every day. But then I saw this picture. This is the U.S. military right now. These three ladies that you're seeing in front of you walking away are all active duty, you remember this? MPs. Military police. What does all this have to do with each other? It's about people. It's about personal responsibility. I thought to myself, man, I wonder if I could even maybe get close on a PT test. I wonder, because they adjust it for age. I know for a fact now, if these three women passed a PT test, so could I. If these three women passed a PT test in the U.S. military, so could I. This is just unreal. This is about an entire lack of personal responsibility, a lack of esprit de corps. Go ahead and screenshot and look up this picture. I can't even begin to, but then I found this as well. Largest employers by state. Virtually all the red states, with I think one or two exceptions here. Walmart. All these states that are in red are all Walmart. The next one is all healthcare, meaning Walmart making people sick, selling people food that makes them sick, people ingesting food that makes them sick, and then everybody else is employed by an industry designed to somehow ameliorate the fact that people don't take care of themselves. If this is what America is right now, you can't blame China for this. You can't blame, just like Pete Hegseth and Mike Waltz and Tulsi Gabbard, and all, they can't blame the reporter that got accidentally added to their secret chat. America needs to take a look in the mirror right now. Because if we keep going down this stupid road where we keep saying, well, every time, look at that, there's an overdose over here, there's an overdose over there, blame China, blame the border, blame the government. No. It's not China's fault. It's not the border guard's fault. It's not Biden's fault. It's people's fault. Right here in this country. It's our fault. We just need to step up and say it. We have created a society of people that have abdicated personal responsibility, and that's on the left and the right. On the left and on the right. Both abdicating complete personal responsibility for being a drug addict or being morbidly obese or whatever problems we're facing right now. It's always a finger point, isn't it? How many of you have watched today all of the squirming online with Trump and his lackeys? all about this signal chat we talked about yesterday. Well, it wasn't really a mistake, but then it was a mistake, but then he learned a lesson from the mistake, and maybe it was the guy that he kind of snuck into the chat, and it wasn't really classified, but then it was. I mean, the squirming and the inability of any of them to sit there and say, yeah, we fucked up. Yep, it was a huge, huge fuck up. We screwed up. We're going to learn from that. We're going to definitely make huge changes. That's what Reagan would have done. Same thing applies here. Same thing applies here with the whole Epstein thing. Nobody has ever thought to say, what happened to personal responsibility? If every one of these alleged victims were such victims, why did they call their friends? Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, recruiting each other, multiple layers down, but they're victims. But they're victims. Give me a break. I'm sorry, but... And believe me, when you see the video over at Patreon, you'll get it. You'll get it. You'll understand. It's about people. It's always been about people. Love to have you over there. God bless. Just use Google Earth. Just follow along with the video and use Google Earth, and everything the Bible says lines up with everything the secular history books say. You can follow along both and go right down the line of history, and it's all explained. You just have to translate the word correctly. Love to have you over there. God bless. Pray for each other. Pray for me. I'll pray for you. Lift each other up. Like, share, subscribe. See you guys next time.